Well, hello, Cellercise family. It's a pleasure to be here. It's been a while. Hope everybody's healthy and doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I want to thank all of you who are out there actively engaged in helping to spread the word about the Cellerciser. I had a chance to talk to one of our customers who's been with us for about 20 years. His name is David, and he was one of the principals in a company called Blendtech, which makes a mixer, and we have one in our kitchen. And David, his comment was, "This is the only one that works. There's nothing else out there that works like this." He's had it for 20 years, and he just loves it. Does it every single day. So it's made a big difference. I thank David for sharing the information with others and for sharing that with me. We've got lots of questions. We've got several customer reviews. Again, it means a great deal to all of us here. The work that you're doing as evangelists to share this with other people and the effects it's having in their lives. We're going to share some of those right now in our customer reviews. We're going to answer some questions. I want to encourage each of you to write to us any questions you have online, and Brooklyn will be here to field those. Christine will edit. She's actively involved. She sent me a list of the questions to go over and said, make sure you read them all, because there's been people that have been waiting on some of these. And I said, okay, so I haven't even read them all, but I will tonight. And then get your Cellercisers out. We've got good news. The Mr. Rebounder app and all the various different movements of 40 additional movements are now done. They should be coming out on the app this week. We've been testing them. We're going to go through a routine tonight. It's a basic routine that's designed to help address neck issues and just overall health of the neck, the cranial area of the head. We'll deal with the shoulders, we'll deal with the back, and it's a nice little gentle program that we can control, and there's some movements I'll explain on how to do them better, but they're done. It's on the app. It should be coming out this week, and thank you for all of your patience and for getting that information out. We also, I'm telling you first, because we have a limited supply, we've got some more of the wireless modules, which I'm going to utilize in our app tonight. Those are the modules that attach to the Cellerciser. They're just like this. This is what it is. And those little modules will interface with the Mr. Rebounder app to count the number of bounces. It'll have an intensity meter showing up on the app itself, then the amount of time, and the number of calories that you burn. I kind of like this because when I finish a routine, if I want to keep going, I just keep going and I simply watch the number of bounces that I'm doing or the number of calories I want to burn. So that's that. All right. Hi, Dave. I saw you on YouTube video talking about your 10-minute facelift. Okay. You said you make a fish face. I could not see the face you made. There was no close-up. Yeah. Please describe the face posture you hold. How long do you hold that face? Also, is jumping high better for your health than a low jump? And the answer is no, you're just floating for a longer period of time. When you're jumping closer to the mat, your cells are flexing many more times per minute, and the valves are opening and shutting many more times per minute. So high jumping is great for big trampolines, for doing tricks and things like that, but the higher you jump, you're just wasting some time in the air. You're going to get plenty of G-forces at a low bounce because the Cellerciser offers resistance. And it's a resistance that causes the cells and the muscles to expand and contract and to get stronger. So we have resistance and movement in the springs with the Cellerciser. Okay, first question. You said you make a fish face. Okay, we're going to do this. All right, the objective here is to hold the muscles in a certain position while you're bouncing so that the skin and the collagen start to become stronger around the muscles of the face, because we can do exercises for the muscles, but how do we work on the skin? How do we work on the collagen? Most exercises never address that. Cellercise does, because it's weight bearing on all the protein fibers. So the muscles, bones, connective tissues, ligaments, tendons, skin, collagen, protein fibers, fascia, they all have to get stronger to compensate for the weight that's on them. That's what makes Cellercise so incredibly efficient. Okay, so it's done by, you want to smile with your cheeks. So you have your cheek muscles up by the eyes. You smile with the cheeks to get those muscles in position, and then kind of do the little fish face. You don't want to pucker. You want to just kind of do this little fish face, smiling with the cheeks, and hold that position while you're bouncing so that the skin starts to form around those muscles. And I hope that's clear. If it's not, let me know. All right, but then you can do it throughout most of your Cellercise program. You just hold in that position while you're bouncing up and down. You're supplying more weight, so the cells become more resistant to the weight, and that's how to do it. Okay, first off, I would like to thank you again for your help with my personal issues. Thank you. This is Robert. It is truly appreciated. I appreciate it. I talked to Robert last week, and he's a valiant spirit. Now, how about a small success story? He says, I have a very close friend who lives in Orange County, California. That's where I grew up. Called me up about 2 years ago, and all she could talk about was this new exercise equipment, her wording, not mine, and that I had to find out about it. It's called a Cellerciser, exclamation point. Of course, she had to pick up a pen, she had me pick up a pen and write down the name, and so I did. After the call, I did look up the site. Phew, I was immediately enthralled. For the next hour or so, I watched several videos and read much of your website in testimonials. You see, I am an old athlete. I've been involved in sports since I was 8 years old. Baseball, football, basketball, track and field, martial arts, right along with hiking, running, and frequent workouts. I'll be 73 years old in a few weeks. I've had so many sports injuries and battered this body pretty well. Yeah, I can attest to that too. And of course, those injuries left their print on me. Well, I purchased the Cellerciser. I was so excited and a bit impatient as I was so utterly bored with the routine workout solutions that we see every day. Cellercising would be a new adventure for me. All right, I've been Cellercising 6 to 7 days a week for nearly 2 years now. All my joints function perfectly now. My balance is perfect. I hike without discomfort. All my physical chores are pain-free. And my friends say I look like a healthy guy in his 50s. Truth be told, I feel like a healthy guy in his 40s. Yeah, Dave, I want to thank you. It has been a fun-filled ride for me, and the future looks bright. Regards, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Who else was I talking to today? Another gentleman, I said, he's been Cellercising for many years too. And he's been telling his neighbors and his friends about it. And truth be told, when I started Cellercising, especially among my family and my peers, just a minute, what you really? You're bouncing on a mini trampoline? Well, that was 30 years ago. Now they're listening. Now they're, what is it you do? How is it you do it? Because like Robert and David and some of the others I've been speaking with recently, who have been doing it for a long time, they're enjoying the same benefits. Cells don't get old. They're always replacing themselves. We can strengthen and improve the efficiency of our cells at any age. And as we do it, our body functions and performance over time gets better and better and better, because the cells keep getting replaced over and over and over. So I just want to testify. I know this works. I'm hoping and praying that all of you are experiencing benefits of the Cellerciser. If you want to go beyond it, want more benefits, give me a call. Feel free. I mean, I'm here to serve you. We want you to enjoy the greater health potential that all of us have. All right, so this one. Okay, it's, Dear David, such a pleasure talking with you today. It says we're a family of 7 with kids ranging from 3 to 13. A little background about me. I grew up very active. I was in ballet for 12 years. I worked at a barn and did dressage, horseback riding. In my teens, skiing, swimming, we were constantly outside walking, on hikes, in the woods, etc. When my husband and I were first married 17 years ago, we were avid exercisers. Not saying any of this to be braggy, just trying to paint the picture. 3 years into our marriage, we had our first daughter and then 2 more daughters, all within 3 years of each other. Surprisingly, I was able to stay in pretty good shape and health during that time. Youth is a beautiful thing. Lots of laugh out loud. And then life started hitting us pretty hard, and I quickly gained a bunch of weight and started eating extremely unhealthy food and not getting enough sleep. I actually got pretty healthy while pregnant with our son, baby number 4, but wasn't able to maintain it for long. After 4 years, after our son was born, we had our other son, baby number 5. Needless to say, time, age, and lifestyle choices started to really get to me. It was easier to get sick and stressed and stay stressed. My digestion became horrible. I was always tired. It felt like I constantly had heavy blankets on top of me. I stared getting swelling. I started getting swelling in my lower extremities. This started to scare me. It's easier to live life and cheaper when you're healthy. So when I found you, David, in the Cellerciser, I was a desperate lady. I needed something that I could be consistent with because I knew a lot of the reason for all my aches and pains, weight gain, and even frequent sicknesses was due to not exercising and from me sitting around too much. One night back in February of 2020, I was praying to God to lead me to an exercise that I could be consistent with because I had workouts that I could do, but I wasn't able to keep up with them consistently because they'd leave me so sore for days, or I'd even injure myself and couldn't do much of anything for weeks. I knew I needed to do something before things got worse. And then I found you after researching lymphatic pumping because I wanted something that would help me gain muscle tone but also address my lymphatic system. And the Cellerciser does both. I watched as many of your videos as I could online. The next day I told my husband, Matthew, I really think we need to get a Cellerciser. And I explained what I had found out and what you, David, had said. He agreed to getting one without hesitation. Thank you, God. All right. Well, we look forward to hearing back from you about some... Oh, actually, it goes on. Sorry. I always took my health and fitness for granted. Now my reasons for wanting to be healthy and fit are very different than they were in my youth and 20s. Being a mom of 5 kids and having some mild health issues like adrenal fatigue, atrophy from sitting too much, and little time to devote to working out, the Cellerciser is a dream. We use it every single day, even if it's just 3 minutes. That's very important. I've relieved fatigue, sinus and chest congestion, indigestion, swelling, edema in my legs, brain fog, brightened my mood, gained clarity, gained muscle. It's reshaped my body. I still need to lose weight, but that's more of a food issue. Laugh out loud. It reduces lactic acid buildup when used between sets during resistance training and massively helps with flexibility, aches and pains, etc., etc., etc. Our oldest daughter uses it every single day. If she gets sick or her nose is stuffy, she'll get on it and jump until the stuffiness is gone, usually within minutes. We homeschool our kids even before COVID hit, and if any of our kids are having concentration issues or they feel lethargic, I tell them to go jump for a few minutes, and then their concentration and or energy comes right back. And that's true. That's a great point. We got COVID back in November 2020, and anytime we were congested in our sinuses or lungs, within minutes of jumping, it was gone. Not to mention the lymphatic pumping benefits while we were sick. There were days that it seemed like it wouldn't be a good idea to get on the Cellerciser, but I'd do it anyway. All of us would. And I'm so grateful I did. I know that the consistent use of the Cellerciser, even if it was for just a few minutes, greatly reduced the severity of the sickness and the recovery time. Just to be sure to drink lots of water. Laugh out loud. I say that a lot. So I can't tell you how much the Cellerciser has changed the quality of our lives. What I've mentioned is truly just the tip of the iceberg and how it's helped our family and the possibilities of what it can help with seem literally endless. God bless you, David, your business, your team, and your family. This small little trampoline has answered my prayers, and I'm so very grateful to you for all the hard work and care that you put into this endeavor. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you, Amy. I know we've read that one before, but it's absolutely worth reading again. Okay, we'll read a few more. Hi, David. So excited I got your Cellerciser. I've been using another brand for 3 years now and decided my body needed the top of the line. I just turned 72 and wanted to purchase your product since it first started rebounding. I immediately felt the difference the second that I started bouncing on it. I have spinal stenosis in L5 and L4, not to mention a few bulging discs. And it was you and your article from a doctor that you sent to me over 2 years ago that encouraged me, after the doctors were against it, to get my rebounder and do a light bounce. Well, I did, and after 3 minutes, the pain that I had for 2 weeks started to subside. Now I have the Cellerciser that I'm positive my body is getting a lot stronger to support my spine. I'm looking forward to feeling stronger and looking great. Thank you so much. You are the rebounding guru. I have talked many of my senior clients into purchasing rebounders. Now that I have yours, I will sell them on purchasing the Cellerciser. If you ever need a senior spokesperson out here in San Francisco area, I would love to be a part of your team. And Linda, thank you. And you're welcome to be part of our team. In fact, that's what we all are. We're one great big team. Okay. Amy writes, for anyone on the fence, just do it. Long time story, but I've had rebounders from the other guys, and this is different. Not only that, in several experiences of my own and after referring others, I believe that Dave Hall's company truly is in it to help others. Customer service is astoundingly good. You will not regret this, Amy. Thank you, Amy. It means a lot. I have significant loose skin due to weight loss, and I just wanted to share to encourage anyone struggling with the same. The Cellerciser and trophy body training work with I Jump Instead. Hands down, period. I couldn't see it with my own eyes. Take pictures. It's not significant, but it's happening. And I read this one, didn't I? Oh, this is I don't know if you can see, this is a Cellerciser now that's been sitting out in the rain, the sun, the snow for 16 years. We still use it. And the rubber tips are fine. It holds up. And Tina writes, looks great. I want you to know I can imagine you've heard this from many others. The Cellerciser is life-changing. Everyone needs to have one in their home for their family. Thank you. My back says thank you. The best and most incredible equipment I have ever purchased. Thanks for your time answering all my questions. A true gem of a company. I'll be sending you the email of my wonderful results. Tina. Thank you, Tina. I look forward to it. This is a good one. This is interesting. This is from Janet. She says, hi, Dave. This was, last week? March 23rd. Okay, hi, Dave. I spoke with you on the phone today about being an affiliate. So I thank you again for your time. I want to share my story. 11 years ago, I lost my left lung due to a rare lung cancer and have never even smoked. Also, I am a singer and musician, so you can imagine how this affected me. I have struggled so much and have had to use steroid inhalers twice daily to maintain average breathing. I have only had my Cellerciser for a week and I'm already seeing remarkable results. I've been doing the breathing exercises that you teach, and wow, she capitalizes that with 3 exclamation points. Talk about improvement. Today I had to sing in a prayer and worship service, so I did my Cellercise breathing techniques before I left home and was stunned at the quality of my voice. I was able to belt out with such strength, even better than when I had 2 full lungs. It is true what Dave has shared, that it opens up the diaphragm. I am living and breathing proof. I never thought this could be a possibility for me, but praise God, he has answered my prayer and used Dave Hall to do it. My heart is overflowing with gratitude for you and your team for all you do for us. And thank you, Dave, for your beautiful, humble heart. Thanks for obeying the call. P.S. I bought this Cellerciser because of a severe dizzy condition to help my brain cells to improve and help my coordination. And look, What a nice surprise I got. Blessings, Janet. That was sweet. Thank you, Janet. Yes, that breathing technique opens up the bronchial tubes in the lungs that most people don't get enough oxygen to, the last third of our lungs. Charlene writes, addictive and so much fun. It is one of the most efficient tools to build lean muscles. I'm not joking, but within 6 months, I've developed muscles I never had before. Thank you. Thank you, Charlene. You know, those of us who Cellercise, we know. It's those who don't Cellercise yet that we need to convince and help. And I know that you all know people that this could help. And whether it's family members, whether it's doctors and health practitioners, whether it's people at church, I'm always talking to people. In fact, this last Sunday at church, I was talking to some people, gentlemen, about knees and knee issues and what we can do to strengthen the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knee so it can be supported better. We can retain, have more fluid in that area. But Roxanne, I've been meaning to post this for a while now. A few months ago, while chopping vegetables, I cut my finger quite badly. I cut off a big area of my nail, and it was several layers deep. It bled a lot, but not the kind of cut that needed stitches since it was the nail bed. Every day, I Cellercised with my arm stretched up over my head. I could feel my injured finger pulse with every bounce. I knew instinctively that I was doing a good thing, and this was helping the healing process. It took over a week before the pulsing feeling went away. It took a while longer before it started to look better. Do you agree, Dave, that bouncing with my hand up in the air above my heart helped my healing process? I feel this is a testimonial to the healing benefits of Cellercise. Okay, so I had one of the questions that I have is regarding Grace. Many of you remember Grace. She's a trucker. She drives for 70 hours a week, and she does her training for marathons and for she finished her first Ironman. Grace is 60 years young, and she is blowing people away. And even the doctors are absolutely amazed at her her abilities. Well, this is you may remember Grace. Another competition she won, and then she's sitting with her dog, who's also in that picture, and they sometimes they'll run a little bit together while she does her race. Well, Grace fell off a cliff. What was it? It was back in August, and she severely broke her foot and her ankle. And see if I can show you pictures of it. I don't have the other pictures. Okay. You right? Yep. All right. So here's her broken ankle and foot. They had to operate on it and put it back together. And it was a severe break. And you can see here it's healing. Grace, the doctor said that their very best athletes took a month longer to heal than Grace healed. She's up and around again. She's absolutely determined to get back into the field so that she can run. They had to pull and repair ligaments and tendons, and it's been a lengthy process, but Grace is holding her foot over the Cellerciser now and bouncing up and down to help promote more circulation. She may even be putting some weight on it now because the doctors have cleared her so that she can start to walk. But that movement up and down helps to reduce inflammation, increase circulation, create weight-bearing activity, help promote faster healing. That's the idea even behind the walking cast. So we want to let Grace know that we're all mindful of her. I asked her, I turned it off. I asked her if it's possible I can share her email address. I didn't get confirmation of that yet. But we want to all root for her because what she is doing and what she has done, she's an evangelist. She has helped so many people with her story and with what the Cellerciser did for her. because you may have remembered the previous picture that I've shown of her. She was very heavy. She was she was overweight, and she Cellercised and lost, I don't know, 100 pounds. It was an enormous amount of weight, and looks phenomenal. And Cellercise helped to change her life. So again, make sure you have your Cellercisers out. We are going to go through a routine in just a little bit for those of us, or you who are just joining us. All right. You often talk about a customer of yours. That's Grace. I think she's 60 and only uses a Cellerciser for her training for the Ironman challenge. I have a son who is a guest participating in the World Championship in Utah this year. I have tried to speak to him about using the Cellerciser. He's very fit, but does get injuries. I feel your Cellerciser would be good for him, as he does have to train big time, but his career in the Special Forces as an officer is quite demanding. Anyway, any information would be amazing. Call me at the office. I should have confirmation by Grace, and I'll put you directly in touch with Grace. So I'm sure she'd be more than happy to assist you. Hi Dave, this is Melissa. And since time is not allowed for me to call you yet after having a nice chat with Jenna, she's online, I was wondering what your thoughts are on jumping if you have vertigo. At first, I was scared to do so, but now I've been for about a week and just avoiding certain movements like looking up or tilting my head, like for a neck stretch or bending over. With the majority of jumping, you're not doing this anyway. It doesn't bother me while doing it, and it doesn't appear to have made it worse later. Is it possibly helping? Would love to know your thoughts. Thank you so very much for all you do to serve others. Okay, yeah, my wife, I think several of you heard me talk recently. My wife used to have vertigo. She had, I don't know if it's crystals in the air, issue with vestibular balance, but the movement up and down while she was Cellercising, and she continued to Cellercise, the vertigo and the issues of the vertigo were virtually gone. So it took some time, and you can challenge your balance mechanism as you get better at it. So starting off moving up and down, that's moving fluid up and down, is challenging our proprioceptors and our vestibular balance. As we get better, we can then start doing more movements. As we continue to get better, we can challenge our balance mechanism even a little bit more by tilting the head slightly. All of those help to lead toward better balance. And again, remember, balance is something we need to challenge. Nobody is born with it. We can challenge it at any age. We can improve balance at any age. Hello, Dave. I have separated shoulder. I was wondering if there are any exercises to do to strengthen this, and if there are any exercises I should not be doing that could injure it more. Love my Cellerciser. Okay, we're going to be dealing with shoulders tonight. Some of the easier ones to do that you can do. Be careful about some of the movements we do. But this gentle movement here where you're bouncing up and down, lifting the elbows up over your head, bouncing up and down, and out to the side, bouncing up and down, that helps to really open the rotator cuff and to strengthen the muscles and ligaments surrounding it, because again, it's all weight bearing. If you have a condition, though, I have to say, I'm obligated to say, consult with your doctor first before you begin any program, so that we know that we're going to be able to serve your interests most effectively. And feel free to have your doctor give me a call, because I've worked with doctors in my program for many years. Okay, wondering how slowly to start out with lower back and hip pain, one-sided. Okay, we're going to do any of that today? Yes, we're going to work on the back and the hip area some today too. So watch where we go when we do that. When I do the health bounce, it does feel better. I'm just wondering how long to stick with this before moving into more of a strengthening routine. And remember, it's all weight bearing, so it is going to create strength, and we can focus the effect more specifically to certain areas of the back by doing specific movements. And we'll do a little bit of that today. Okay, is there a risk when jumping regularly on a Cellerciser for any type of prolapse, pelvic organ, bladder, vaginal, vault, etc., for women who have had a total hysterectomy, everything gone. I know jumping can strengthen your pelvic floor, but I'm not sure how this applies after hysterectomy. Yeah, you don't want to do a lot of high jumping, especially if you don't need to. Excuse me. There are movements that you can do to help strengthen that whole wall. And they can be as easy as the movements where you sit down on the Cellerciser. And again, you've seen me do this before, just sitting down and bouncing up and down, where you're not moving up and down vertically, but just by virtue of the fact you tilted, all these muscles here are working. And then you can do graduated movements from that position. Okay, about the Jamba Run. Trying to get the positioning right, the straight back is tricky. Oh, the kick back is tricky. And do you mean actually lift your feet or run or press your heels into the mat up and down? Oh, the Jamba Run, okay. Yeah, you want to be flat-footed on it for the Jamba Run, and you want to kind of keep your weight a little bit toward the heels while you're pushing down into the mat. So it's just like this. By keeping your back straight and keeping you're keeping the weight over the thighs, and that's what's really going to be doing the work. So it's just slightly back. That's why it's a lot easier for any of us to have a balance bar to hold on to when we're doing the Jamba Run. Okay. How about cramps in the lower leg, feet, and in the arch or toes? Should there be some results from using the Cellerciser from dealing with this? I'm sure. The Cellerciser is going to help increase circulation, flexibility to support your natural alignment. Muscles, bones, and ligaments and tendons are going to move. And as they move to support your alignment, they become more flexible and they become stronger. There are different approaches you can take, such as staying flat-footed, rocking side to side, and then lifting the heels up and down. That's going to work underneath the arches and the heel and the calf muscles. But those simple, basic movements help to strengthen the foot. Now, as we start to do more advanced movements and we're bouncing around, then the muscles, ligaments, and bones are going to stretch and move even more to support your natural movement and alignment. We want the foot to be flexible. When it's restrictive, and shoes are often very restrictive in their ability to flex, then we do something strenuous, then that's when we end up getting hurt. So approach the Cellerciser gently. You can start off with some soft-soled slippers, which have movement in them, while the body adapts. One thing I'll say, I have a standing desk and I have a Cellerciser I'm on for many hours each day. I don't do major workouts on there, but do the health bounce, some Jamba walking and mindless movements. Wondering if this is not a good idea and if the almost cramps I continually deal with are a result of this. I don't know what you're standing on. If you're just standing on the Cellerciser, I'm not real clear. Or if you're standing on on cement floor or the ground. So we can get a little more clarity on that. I might be able to answer that a little bit better. But I've got the Cellerciser near my desk. I have a standing desk that I use also. And I'll get on and off it occasionally, but I don't stand on it the whole time. So not sure if I hope that helps. There was some mention of taking off your glasses when Cellercising. I always keep mine on, partly because I'm usually viewing a YouTube video and I want to see it clearly. Is it okay to keep your glasses on? It's a good question. You're going to exercise your eye to the glasses when you're bouncing up and down on a Cellerciser. The muscles are flexing around the lens, and if you're using glasses, then you're really strengthening your eye to the level of the glasses. It's when you're exercising, and if you do that for that reason, you can also spend some time with the glasses off. And one of best ways of doing this is to look at a chart or something on the window. It could be an eye chart, could be a collage of words that you put together, different sizes and shapes, and you're bouncing up and down looking at the chart. The muscles are expanding and contracting because you're weightless weight over and over. And that you're increasing circulation. So we're working to improve the flexibility of the cells of the eye as well. But now you're looking at something, so you're using the muscles to focus on something without your glasses so that you can start to strengthen those muscles. And then we look through the window at something at a distance. And we bounce for a few moments looking at a distance so that we're flexing the muscles at the distance. Now the moving up and down, again, you're flexing the muscles yourself. The moving up and down is flexing the muscles. It's increasing circulation and flexibility, and it can improve overall vision. And we've had that happen a number of times. Now, there's other factors involved. If the lens is crystallized or gotten too hard, which is common as people are getting older or been out in the sun too long or too much, then the muscles can't flex the lens. But often that's not the case. If it's just weak muscles, we can strengthen those muscles and often the vision will improve. Okay, I would like to know why I yawn during my Cellercising. I usually do 15 to 20 minutes, and I think I have been Cellercising for a year. I read yawning helps cool the brain during exercise. Are others yawning during a session? I haven't heard that one. I don't know if it's an increase of oxygen to the brain or what, but that's, I don't have an answer for that. So if you've experienced that yourselves, please encourage people, let's encourage you to write in and share that. But no, I'm not sure why that would occur. I would like to know the exercises for the rotator cuff. Yep, we're going to do that. I jump every day at 5 a.m. for 20 minutes for several months now, and thought naturally my rotator cuffs would strengthen, but maybe I need to specifically target them. Exactly. Thank you in advance. And that's where we're going to do these movements while we're bouncing up and down. I'm getting bad acid reflux after I jump. It's bad enough that my whole chest is burning. Any advice on how to prevent this? Probably don't want to eat anything before you bounce. It's a sphincter muscle that's in there, but it also could very likely or possibly be indicating another issue. So and I don't know what that might be. So Cellerciser is really helpful at helping to expose weaknesses in the body. We had a lady who I talked with earlier today who had she said a pendulum intestine where it dropped, and when she Cellercised, she felt that, and she went to the doctor and they treated it. So it didn't cause the problem, and the doctor said no, it didn't cause a problem, but it helped to expose an issue, a condition that she was able to get treated. So that's helpful to know as well. So would like to know if Cellercise helps with any of these health issues. Please, elevated liver enzymes, ALTS, hypothyroidism, pre-hypertension, arthritis flare-ups, rosacea flare-ups, recommendations for high blood pressure. Okay, well, Cellercise, again, it expands and contracts. Expands, contracts, weightless weight. So the thyroid, the adrenals, the endocrine system, they're all involved in this movement that you don't get on a normal day-to-day basis. So by being weightless and weight-bearing and weightless and weight-bearing, we're helping to stimulate natural balance, both physical and chemical within the balance, because we're stimulating. Gentle twisting on the Cellerciser is taking all those internal organs every day, liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, adrenals, gently moving them up and down, side to side, to help massage those internal organs as well. All right, so let's get the Cellercisers out. We're going to go through a routine.
I have a couple
questions.
Yes,
sorry, questions. Go ahead.
I've broken my shoulder. Should I bounce or not? It's been 3.5 weeks.
Good question. Okay, broke his shoulder. Should he bounce or not? 3.5 weeks. And you've got to consult with your doctor on this one. This is one that I teach the doctors. And that is, if you have your shoulder in a sling, you're holding the shoulder, but you're gently moving up and down, the tissue is gently expanding and contracting. The circulation is pumping. The inflammation is being reduced. So that healing process can occur faster. Now, as the shoulder gets better and stronger and you can do movement, then we can support it with our hands and gently bounce up and down. And if you want to know the dynamic of this, do it. Try it. Just get on the Cellerciser, feel your shoulders. They're going like this a lot. So this gentle movement up and down helps to increase flexibility of shoulder. And this is one of the ones that I teach to physical therapists. So, and we're going to do some of those tonight.
Is the Cellerciser safe for somebody who has a uterine prolapse grade 2 to 3? If so, what would be your recommendations for exercises?
Yeah, the one that I shared earlier where you sit down on the Cellerciser, again, consult with your doctor, but that movement where you're sitting down, sitting back a little bit, doesn't have the vertical movement up and down, while we can start to strengthen the wall and all those internal organs because it's working from the inside out. And then when the doctor says it's okay to walk, or when it's okay to walk, you can stand on the Cellerciser and rock side to side. You're going to get a little bit more movement there. But again, it's weight bearing, helps loosen the back, improve the hips and thighs and the knees as we're rocking side to side. So just real simple movement, but very, very effective. This gentle twisting motion can also be very effective. I wouldn't do any jump ups high or anything like that until you know that it's going to be okay for you to do that.
Is there a reason why when I kick sideways I get back pain?
Is there a reason why when he kicks sideways he gets back pain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be a disc. When you're moving side to side, your vertebral joints are moving this way. If you've got a herniated disc or you don't have enough space between the vertebral joints at the disc where these nerves come out, when you're kicking out side to side, if you don't have enough space there, you can be irritating a nerve a little bit. And so that's an indicator that we want to open up the back more effectively. And we're going to do some exercises tonight that are designed to open up the back. We're not going to be working so much on strengthening the back as we are of how do we increase the space between the vertebral joints. And we're going to do that and loosen muscles. Any others, Ricky? Okay, get on our Cellercisers. Let's go. Can they see the screen okay? Because
yeah.
Good. All right, so I'm going to turn this my direction. And welcome to some of the new movements. And most of these are going to highlight most of the new movements. Now, there's some more advanced movements that we didn't do on this particular program. But we're going to call this is flex training number 1. We'll do flex training number 2. It's going to be a little more advanced. But the next time we meet in a couple weeks, we're going to be doing strength working. So we're going to be working to build up our strength, and we'll have some of those new movements implemented in a routine as well. So the purpose of this is how do we increase the flexibility? Then we're going to be how do we build on strength? And as far as aerobics, if you want aerobics, if you do a routine like this, and then you go to the Mr. Rebounder app, you can pick an aerobic routine that will help you burn more calories and have more bounces. And the neat thing about it is if you're watching a television program and you have it on an iPad or on your iPhone, you can be watching the show. And like, Brooklyn, do you do that? Yep, she's nodding, yeah. We do. We watch a show while we're doing our routine. It dings in between each movement so that we can enjoy our show. The time goes by like that. And you've given your body a complete workout while you're having fun, enjoying something with the rest of the family and doing your Cellercising. It's just convenient, it's fun, and it's easy, and it's exactly what we designed it for. So We've got over 30 pre-made routines on the Mr. Rebounder app, more to come, and you can create your own routines as well. So what I've created here is not going to be available for you until later in the week, and then we'll make it available on the Mr. Rebounder app. There's some movements that you'll need to purchase. They're not very expensive, they're very cheap, but the purpose is so that we can continue to produce more and more movements. And we're going to, if you want to wait, we're going to have it so that you can earn the movements when you get a certain number of rewards. Any other questions, Ricky?
Is there a relation to my inner back itching a lot? I noticed that after using the Cellerciser.
Yeah, the back itching a lot from using the Cellerciser, that could be a detox. The moving up and down, this is the biggest organ of our body, is our skin. And I don't know. So again, you might need to consult with a doctor, but we do know that this is our biggest organ of our body. And the movement up and down helps the skin to also expand and contract. There's so many benefits to Cellercise. So it could be a detox type effect. I don't know though. Okay. All right, so we're going to get started here. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to the home and cancel. All right, so when it first comes up, we have settings. You go to the little top, we've got settings. We hit the settings. I'm going to say connect Bluetooth device. So I'm going to hit connect the Bluetooth device. No device found. So I'm going to come over here to our little device, and I'm going to hit the little button on the back. It will turn red, and then it will turn green. And then when I hit play, it says connected. It will turn blue. So if I look at it now, the little light on it is blue. So now I'm going to go back to the home screen. We've got the beginning, intermediate, advanced, senior, create your own. I'm going to go to the one I created. So at the very bottom, we have my workouts. I'm going to go to my workouts, and I'm going to hit the flex training number 1, and probably, let's go ahead and turn on. I'll turn it down, and I'm going to start it over, but I want you to see this. If you have the wireless module, you'll have a little orange bar right on the side. If you hit that orange bar, it's going to come up with an intensity meter, the number of bounces, the number of calories burned in that session. And when you're done with the session, if you want to keep going and burn more calories, you can. It'll keep count. We have a few of these available. Again, we're going to be doing these and offering these as we get the circuitry and as we get the circuitry available. So if you're interested in one of those wireless modules, call our office tomorrow. I will be putting it up on the website this week. The only thing about these modules is it's not going to come with the pre-made box that we're having printed up. So we take $10 off because it doesn't have the box. But you'll get the unit with the cord, the plug-in cord. It lasts for months. I mean, you can use that every day. When it's charged, it has a little indicator on this that will let you know when it's charged. So we're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to start again, and let's have some fun. I will put that. There we go. So you can see the number of bounces. Oh, I waited too long. It timed out. Okay. All right, so I got to go back to the beginning. I was talking too much. And go back to settings. Go back to connect Bluetooth device. Connected. Go back again. It's you to see how we do it again. My workouts. Training. Start. I'm going to hit that button. And now you'll see the numbers counting. So we're just going to go right through this. It's going to take about 18 minutes. It'll go by very quickly. And it's just having fun together. So I'll make some pointers about some of the different movements as we continue. But of course, this one being the number one most important, the baby bounce. It helps to break up sticky blood cells, helps increase oxygen blood flow to the brain. It helps relieve stress and tension. Of course, it's pumping with the calf muscle. You're lifting the heels up and down. That helps reduce edema, swelling, varicose veins, increases circulation back up to the heart. There's so many benefits. This is a wake-up call. Thyroid, adrenals, endocrine system, they're all doing this. This is the best way to wake up in the morning. And it's challenging our balance mechanism as well. Okay, now it's the hip rock side to side. So I'm rocking side to side. If you take your shoulders and drop them down just a little bit, you pump the lymph system even more. You're opening up the vertebral joints in the back more. And that helps increase flexibility. So we're working the thighs, the hips, both sides of the knees. Very gentle, but it's a good beginning. Okay, now we're graduating. We're loosening up the lower back. We're targeting the smooth muscles, the liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, adrenals. Loosening up the lower back. The hips. This is the second most important activity I believe that we can do on the Cellerciser. The first just being the baby bounce or health bounce. Okay, now we're going to lean to the right. We have our elbow up, we're leaning to the right, we're opening up the vertebral joints in the back. And the moment you feel the stretch, stop, hold the position, and gently bounce. We're going to allow the movement itself to massage away the tension and increase the flexibility in the back, because when you reach a certain point and then you bounce up and down, it automatically is going to start to loosen up the muscles like this. Let me do the same thing on the other side. Feel free to ask, well, you're on the Cellerciser, you can't ask questions, that's all right. And if you lift the elbow up, kind of lift it up high as you're stretching, you can actually feel a little bit more of that stretch. Back the other way again. But we're going to take the right foot and cross it in front of the left foot. So now we're working on the lower back. And we can create routines where we can do several of these movements over and over. And you should feel that right there in that lower back area. And if you don't, congratulations. You have no tension there. That's rare but good. And then we're going to do the same thing the other side. And often you'll notice one side has more tension than the other. Try to catch up to them. And again, kind of create that lift and up and over. Okay, now we're going to do the whippy. For those who are not comfortable doing that, just do this. But this is the whippy ski patrol. And lifting our shoulders up and down and bouncing side to side works the hips, thighs, knees, and increases even more flexibility. Just holding the bar so far doesn't matter. Okay, cranial. We put our fingers around the cranial area in our head, and we want to find little pressure points where we have some tension. And as we gently push and do circular motions on that tension of those areas, we start to increase circulation and reduce the tension that's in the cranial area of our head. And let the fingers do the walking, right? So as we're loosening up the tension in the head and we're gently moving up and down at the same time, we're helping to reduce the tension that occurs in those areas. And it may be a little painful initially. When you hit those pressure points, work on them, but be gentle. Okay, now we're going to work the neck. So we're doing little circular motions around the vertebral joints of the neck, kind of pushing in and up. And you can actually work underneath, right at that atlas where the skull connects. You can work pushing into those areas as well. But we want to loosen up those muscles and increase that circulation. Now, every time we move up and down, we're moving fluid up and down through the tissue. So now we're going to do a gentle head roll. And those are the time there. And on this one, I only did it one direction, so we need to probably add the other head roll the other direction too, but I'm going to go the other way now. Okay, now we're going to turn to the right and gently bounce up and down. And you want to just kind of look over your shoulder, and now we're going to turn to the left and look over our shoulder. And as we get the stretch, and then we do the movement up and down, it's more than just a stretch. Again, it's a stretch with a pumping action. And we may feel this a little bit, don't overdo it, because you don't have a lot of space between the neck and the vertebral joints. You'll feel it the next morning, more than likely. And that's when we really, it's often a good idea to do it again, so that gently, so we can reduce any inflammation. And we're going to put together more routines, but I want to encourage you to go in and take a look at the movements and put together routines also. And then let us know what routine you like. Eventually, up now, I open my mouth on this one. We're looking up, so we don't overstretch the neck or skin. And now we're going to look down. Up again. And down. After a period of time doing this regularly, everything just becomes much more flexible. We're going to do the roll again. Go the other way. Okay, now hold the shoulders or the elbows straight out in front of you. We're going to work on the shoulders. So the elbows are straight out in front. Over our head, and reach, if you can, just kind of reach. You might hear a little creaking in there, that's okay. Out to the side, and again, stretch out to the side as much as you comfortably can. And it's like cleaning up a bedroom. So if you're challenging areas of the body you haven't challenged for a long time, you may feel it a little bit more the next day. It's okay, we work through that. And some of us may feel it in the scapular area of the back, which is common too. And just feel those shoulders, feel the muscles, how they're flexing. It's amazing. To the side. And you can always clone a routine, and then you can change it up. Say, hey, I like this part, this move. I want to do a different move here, or I want to add another move, or I want to do this one more. Okay, so this one wraps under. You wrap under the elbow and gently pull the shoulder in front of your chin while we're gently bouncing up and down. And we do the same thing the other way. And again, you can control the amount of time. You can do this for a longer period of time. You have complete control over this app. If you want to do it for 20 seconds, you can do it for 20 seconds. You want to do a bunch more of these, you can do a bunch more of these. So, and then you can save your routine for yourself. I have a lot more exciting things we want to be able to do with this. And many of you probably feel the stretch there. Okay, now we're going to grab either your elbows, if you can, or just your forearms or wrists, so that we're going to stretch the whole front part of the shoulder. And then we reverse and grab the other way. So if you can see that, that's going to help stretch the shoulders in the front too. Thank you for that. And again, we're giving you kind of a feeding for this, but you can do it for longer periods of time too. And we're going to change the, we're going to change the position of this guy so you'll be able to see when he changes his position as well. Okay. We're giving those shoulders some stretching and some movement there. And again, some of you may really feel this tomorrow. That means you've challenged your body and it will start to adapt. All right, up and down. I kind of like to rock side to side on this one. And then just stretch that up there. Fast. You have the ability to slow down these movements on the app also. Okay, swirls in the front. To the side and kind of reach out. Over the top again. And I'm sure many of you feel that. I feel that. And it's good though. And building up strength as well as flexibility in the whole shoulder area. And many of you may not be that flexible yet, so go easy. And you can let me know how you feel in the morning, because you'll probably feel some. But then that's when we get on it and do some of the little movements again to help reduce that inflammation, increase that circulation. Okay, this is more advanced, so you can do this if you want, just like this. You can do it that way. We're both going to do the same thing. You do this for a while. But again, we're working the hip area, back, shoulders. Don't elbow yourself. Okay, whoopee ski patrol. We're almost done. And like I said, when you're done with this, if you want to, if you have the app, you can just pick another routine. The neat thing about Cellercise, you can change it up. Or the Mr. Rebounder app, you can do one routine on Monday, a different one Tuesday, another one Wednesday, or you can alternate between different routines depending on what your goal and objective are. Right. Okay, twist. We're really working to loosen. If you want to, you can lift your arms up a little higher too. And that works the upper back. And one thing I was going to do, and I forgot, was to have you try to touch your toes before you get on this Cellerciser to do the routine, and then touch your toes afterwards, just to show you how much more flexible you are. Okay, we're cooling down. This is a great routine, really, if you're under a lot of stress or tension, to get rid of the stress and tension while you're pumping the immune system. All right. And just to cool down. So again, thank you for being part of the Cellercise family. Please share this program routine with family and friends so they can try it. If you don't have a Cellerciser, you are welcomed in the Cellercise family anyway. We appreciate you. If you have any questions with regards to the Cellerciser, compared to other units, feel free to give us a call. I'm happy to answer any questions we can. Again, we want everyone to understand and appreciate and enjoy the benefits of greater health and greater fitness and greater energy. Thank you very much. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Stay healthy, be safe, and again, thank you for being a part.